I am the coolest guy in London. My penis is this big and you'd be lucky to have it. I mean, I want you to have a little bit of that kind of vibe about it. As opposed to they are lucky you are there.
Yeah.
Okay? And that comes across to them in 100 subtle ways.
Yes.
Okay? But it's the difference between like, hello, right, versus, hey, excuse me, right? Where there's just a little bit of like kind of, I'm loose, I'm relaxed, I'm smiling. There's like that, just that little twinkle in your eye of like, I'm either up to mischief or you're up to the day of your life. More energy and more like, I am awesome. You would be lucky to be with me, okay? You have the energy, right? You have that energy and intensity, so that you have. You have the oomph on your opens, but then the thing, which we talked about before, but is it's oomph with the cockiness. Oomph with the, I can take you or leave you, right? Obviously, you did open, so you are interested enough to go see them. You can't hide that fact. But interested does not mean sold, right? The vibe you should have in both of you guys, I was interested enough to give you 10 seconds of my day. But hey, you're cute, so you have 30 seconds to impress me. That's not what you're literally gonna say, because that would be way too much on the open, but that's what your attitude should say. Your attitude should say, you're lucky enough to get an audience with the king. Don't waste it. If the girl says to you sometimes like, who do you think you are, or what makes you so confident? Yeah, that's good.
That's the way.
The ideal thing you would want to convey is not that you are a player, but that you could be a player if you wanted to, but choose not to. That's the guy they're really looking for. The guy who could have any girl without effort, but is extremely selective and only goes for the best. That's what you're trying to convey that you are. Across the board for all of you guys, you are the most important, best thing that's happening to them today. You are an enormous opportunity, and this is their one-time chance with you.
So like unapologetically assertive, but nonchalant, like you don't give a shit.
Yeah. That's, putting all those words together is not as easy. Assume the burden. You have to make the conversation happen. And by the way, the frame around this, why do you have to make the conversation happen? Is it because you're lower value? No. It's because she's not ready to meet this attractive of a guy yet, and she doesn't realize how cool you are yet. So you just need to give her, 30 seconds or a minute to realize it. Even in assuming the burden, you're assuming the burden from the right frame. Not the, will you please have me? I have to work for this conversation because I'm unworthy. Be like, hi, I'm here. I know it's a little overwhelming. So as a high value guy, I'm gonna do you the favor of carrying the conversation. And then, once we're actually, in it, you're gonna have to impress me.
How do I?
A lot of it's gonna come down to how you feel and your attitude, okay? There's this idea in game, they say that the self is always coming through, right? How you feel, what you're thinking is coming through in your actions, okay? If you feel turned on and you're interacting with her, she will feel a little more turned on. If you feel shy and nervous, she'll feel nervous. As you're talking to the girl, like she's talking, maybe she's telling you a story, you're listening to the story, but you're kind of sitting there just objectifying her and thinking like, it would be really fun to fuck you. You want to have a little bit of that vibe and that essence coming through.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be thinking it and feeling it because it's going to come through, right? And then along with that, what you're going to do is you're going to hold eye contact just a little bit too long. You're going to kind of smirk just a little bit too much. You're gonna find excuses to like just touch her while talking to her instead of not touching her while talking to her, right? You're gonna find all these ways to make little extra sexual things happen in the conversation. So that's number one, is you are going to come across as like a sexual being because you are thinking about sex, because you are holding the eye contact too long, because you are touching and leading and those kind of things, okay? So that's number one. The other thing that you wanna do is you want to actually have some negative spikes in the conversation. So she doesn't feel like this like, oh, I can have him, I'm relaxed, I'm just floating by. You want it to be this like, the fuck does this guy think he is? What did he just say to me? Right? So it's that combination of like a lot of sexuality and a little bit of frustration that all kind of like builds up for the girl, right? I want you to try and start creating that. And you can even say, like, you can be very sexual and also be negative. Be like, look, you're so sexy, but I'm just letting you know this is not happening tonight, okay? Do you agree? Promise me, right? So it's like, it's very intense, it's very sexual, but it's also very like, back off, false time constraint, I'm just kidding, I'm just fucking with you, something like that is fine. It's not good to go over and bring it back, but it's better to go over and bring it back than to underdo it. There's one of my favorite quotes in game, I say this all the time, mistakes of audacity can usually be corrected with more audacity. Mistakes of timidity are not forgiven. If I go in and I'm too weak and she blows me off, I'm pretty much done. But if I go up and I'm too like, hey, excuse me, I was wondering if you happen to have noticed how fucking cool I am. She goes, who the fuck are you? I'm just kidding, I'm fucking around. But anyway, hi, I'm Todd, nice to meet you, right? You can get through that. You can bluster through after being too cocky. But it's hard to turn on the bluster after being too nice. Like, hi, excuse me, I wanted to talk to you. She's like, fuck off. Like, no, hi, I'm actually really confident, and it doesn't work, right? Because being confident and being high value is something you are. Being comfortable is something you choose to do. So a high value guy who wants to can make a girl feel comfortable, right? A comfortable guy can around him just like, hi, I'm here, right? You're not literally, that's not literally the words, but that's what your body language is saying, right? I'm here and I am the most important thing that is gonna happen to you, not just today, but probably in your whole life, right? And also, oh, by the way, I'm awesome, okay? That's what I want to happen. So you're like the bowling ball of awesomeness obliterating the pins. You're not the bowling ball rolling up and politely knocking on the first pin and saying, excuse me, do you mind if I knock you over? It's like in martial arts, like you're trying to break a board, you punch through the board, right, on the open. But in a friendly way. Not an angry punch through the board, but a friendly punch through the board. That's kind of what we're going for. Make sense? Okay, cool. With that said, guys,